Okay, so 8.8, we're going to be looking at PowerShell. So how do we get to PowerShell? PowerShell is not this command prompt here. So if you do the start button on the bottom left, and then just type in pow, it gives you the Windows PowerShell. I can just press enter, and here is the PowerShell. Notice how very similar it is. And a lot of the commands are the same, but then it gets more advanced because remember the PowerShell is basically the upgrade to this command prompt. And we'll learn a little bit more about that. But I do want to focus on first that something I didn't look at earlier because I didn't have this open is that just like you right click on the title bar and you get properties and edit, you can also right click here and have properties and edit as well. Notice how edit has mark, copy, paste, select all, just like this one, just like the command prompt. And then it also has properties, and let me go ahead and open both of them. Notice how it's pretty much the same thing. You got your font, you got your layout, and then you have colors to change. So not bad. And basically by default, the PowerShell is blue, just so you can see that there's a difference between them. In PowerShell, you can do much more sophisticated things with them, but we will see that later. But just know that it is very similar to the command prompt. Okay, so what can we do in the PowerShell? And remember, it's Cmdlets. And basically, it's just you can kind of like create a program or a list of items to execute at the same time. I think that would be that might be a better explanation, but you can do so much more too. But we'll do that later on in the class. Okay, so one thing that's kind of cool is that if you do a dir, we're familiar with that. It shows you the directory. It shows you a list of what's in that folder, okay? If you do an ls, well, it's the same thing. But remember, ls is the Linux command. And also remember too that dir is the command prompt command. And just notice that they work. So that's cool. But the actual command for getting a list of the files and folders is get-childitem. Okay, so there it is right there. Same exact thing. Now, one thing to know is that when they upgraded to PowerShell, well, they wanted to be able to use those older or otherwise known commands. So they created aliases. And that's actually what we're using now when we do dir or ls. So to actually see what the alias is, you just type in get-alias, and here's a list. So these are all the aliases that they have, or, you know, other names that they're known as. So like, what's your alias is your nickname. Well, this is another name for those commands. So if you scroll through here, we did a dir, remember? So here it is. The alias for dir is get-childitem. This is actually the PowerShell command for the dir command that it's used in the command prompt. So, and there's your ls. It's just another alias for the same thing. So, yeah, so it's not, I know that it sounds a bit challenging because, you know, it's a new term, but yeah, it just really means the same thing. What's alias? It's another name for. Okay, So let's go ahead and look at the chapter real quick. And yeah, we really don't have much of that part in the assignment, but still good to know. Okay, so I'm